Hello there, everyone. Welcome back, and I'm here to be talking about Richard Jewell. Now, Richard Jewell is the newest film by Clint Eastwood, who has obviously made a ton of movies and has starred in a lot of movies, like in the 60s and 70s, and recently he's just mostly done directing, but he has been in some movies. Like he's directed and starred in last year's The Mill, which I heard from a lot of people were saying that that would be his last film. And then I saw the trailer for this, and I was like, oh, there's another one coming. Okay. And it's based on the true story on the 1996 Olympic bombing that happened, where this security guard was able to point it out. They were able to clear it away, the crowd, before it went off. So it saved a lot of lives that could have potentially been lost. Like, there was still a lot of people, like they mentioned 100 people were injured, 2 died, but it still prevented more tragedy from happening, which is really cool. When initially the security guard was hailed as a hero for like pointing out and saving lives, but the FBI had a feeling that he was the one that planned it. Cause there was a lot of that going around of people trying to get attention on doing awful stuff and then coming into the rescue to partially save it and all, so that they could be, get attention and all. And they thought it was a similar situation with this guy, and it got leaked to the media, and then it was just this big storm of like media people constantly harassing him and like his mom at their house, and the FBI was constantly questioning them, doing really dirty tactics and everything. And it was just it felt awful, and it was a really awful, stressful situation naturally, like it would definitely be if people were coming in at your house and taking all your stuff and examining everything of your life for like weeks. This went on for weeks, and it turned out that he was innocent and the real guy got caught a few years later. But to have to go through all that was really bad, and I thought this movie did a fantastic job in showing how if you get misinformation, it could really ruin someone's life. Like, this guy, obviously, like after that, even if he was potentially cleared now, because it took a few years till they found the real guy, but it took about a couple weeks or maybe a few months for them to officially say he didn't do it and to move on. But still, like, people will be looking at you afterward and thinking, oh, he might have done it. And always there will always be that thought of them thinking that about you, even if it's completely wrong. And like a lot of his past and stuff was brought up, and he's a really awkward guy, really socially, kept to himself and stuff. And he still lived with his mom. Like, there was a lot of red flags as to him potentially being it and stuff. And I thought the movie, like, ooh, the Paul Walter Hauser who plays him, he was also in I, Tonya from 2017, which I thought was fantastic. He did a great job there, and that movie was overall excellent. He was so good here. Like, I was really surprised. Like, he plays this character so well. And his mom, played by Kathy Bates, who I believe also won an Oscar, I think in 1990, for Misery, that one film about the lady who kidnapped the author to write for her or whatever. Like, she won an Oscar for that, and she was, I wouldn't say she was better than that movie, but she was really great here. Like, I'm hearing buzz for her, and like those two were the main standouts. And Sam Rockwell as his friend and lawyer and attorney and stuff, I thought he did a great job. And like, the movie was like really riveting. I was really intrigued into what happened. It could come across as boring in like the opening, like the good first 15 minutes all before the event happens. I can understand why people would be bored, because there are some parts that are kind of like, I mean, I was interested in the movie and stuff, but there were just some parts I was like, okay, you're just adding it there for some filler, stuff like that. But the main thing I do want to touch on this, because it would be kind of odd for me not to, is there's this major controversy going on with this movie, where the Atlantic Journal or whatever, like the news people that were leaked this story from the FBI, are apparently, I don't know if it's gotten to the suing part yet, but they're threatening to sue or stuff because of how one of the journalists, like the main journalist played by Olivia Wilde, who does leak the story, is portrayed in the film. And obviously Warner Brothers is not having that, and they're clapping back and saying all this stuff. And I think it's pretty crazy, because like, if like they are lying about her, which in the film, like, no spoilers per se, but how she acts and what she does is so vile, so disgusting, so over dramatized that it just can't be real. Like, no doubt it can't be real. And like since this is based on a true person, for them to all these characteristics and stuff on her character, for her to be like that in the movie is pretty disgusting, I will say. And I do understand why the company is mad about that. And more like, it's a really tricky situation to talk about, but I think in the context of the film, it was distracting and her parts were not that good for me. But I mean, I don't really think I can blame that on the actress, because she's been defending it and stuff and saying that that was not their intention to say that she was like that and stuff. But I mean, kind of had her like that in the film, and I think that they just over dramatized it to just nail home their message on how media and the like government, if they lock on you, even if you're innocent, it could really ruin your life. So I get that, and how media has such a power to like persuade people and stuff. So I get what their message is, and this did help it. But at the same time, if it's lying about someone, that's not good either. Like that, it could defame them, even if they, because I heard that she's not alive, she's not with us anymore, but it could still defame her legacy, which I think is bad. Like that's not good at all. So it's a really tricky situation that they're in, and hopefully it doesn't get any serious. But like, I mean, it's pretty tricky to discuss. So I just thought I should touch on it real quick here, but I'll move on. The main FBI guy is played by John Hamm as well, and I thought he was pretty good. Like it was really shady what they were doing to the security guard guy. Like it was like the main character, because how they like doing some really shady tactics, bringing him in and saying, oh, we are interrogating you and all this and sign this and that. And I was like, that's so messed up. Like there's like, it really, this movie shows how bad some of the like the system and all can get. And I just thought it was really like, it was a really good movie. I thought the overall, like most of the performances from like the mom and the main guy were great. His like lawyer and stuff was really good. The John Hamm did a fine job. Like he was such a jerk in this movie, but I think that was the intention. Olivia Wilde, like she seems like a really cool person and all, and she did direct Booksmart, I believe, which came out as well this year. I think that was her first film, so good for you. But this was not a good performance from her. I think it's just knowing all this now and seeing it, if I do plan on seeing it again, it just hits me the wrong way. I just don't like what Warner Brothers and all were trying to do, if that is true. But I mean, it's obviously over dramatized, but I talked enough about that. But I mean, besides that controversy, which probably derails its Oscar chances all now, because I haven't really, I mean, it was in the talks for a minute, but then all this came out and I'm like, ooh. So I don't know, but the main Oscar I think it'll deserve nominations for is definitely Best Actor for Paul Walter Hauser and Best Supporting Actress for Kathy Bates. Those are the two it definitely deserves, if it does get any. And yeah, that's about all I have to say about the film. So those are my thoughts on Richard Jewell. Have any of you had a chance to see it? And like, don't let this controversy persuade you from like not going to see it, because it's still a really riveting movie with some really great performances, like a message that I think could hit home today, because there's lots of stuff going on with like what's true and what's not, and how people could be accused of stuff, and it's like a timely message. Like I still recommend seeing it, and although some parts could be boring, I do think if you're in the right mindset to watch this movie, I think you guys might give it, like, you might enjoy it. People might enjoy it. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and if you want to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell as well to get notified when I upload, that'd be pretty great. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's SawyerSable or @SableSawyer. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next review. Bye.